kind of quickly walk through before we get started our agenda for today. So we'll start by kicking off with just introducing the social good mission at Facebook. As Jen mentioned, I'm part of the social good team at Facebook, where we build a variety of tools to help nonprofits like yourselves be successful on the platform. We'll quickly do a refresh for those that are familiar of our Facebook fundraising tools. These are we started our building fundraising tools on Facebook, and eventually now we're expanding to Instagram, which we're excited to share more information with you today. After going over Facebook fundraising tools, we'll kick it over to Jen to talk about nonprofit profiles on GuideStar. And then we'll do a deep dive on the Instagram donation sticker, which is the latest tool that's available for nonprofits today. And then we'll walk through quickly at the end some fundraising best practices on the platform. So to kick it off, the mission of our social good team at Facebook is to build powerful tools that improve people's lives. The way that the mission really manifests itself is we have 4 critical teams within social good, our social good organization at Facebook, that focus on building tools that help drive these real world outcomes for people. We have our charitable giving team, crisis response, mentorship, and health. You can learn more information about the social good team on our website at socialgood.fb.com. For the focus of today's conversation, though, we are going to be talking mainly about our charitable giving tools on Facebook and Instagram. So as part of our charitable giving team, we're really focused on helping people raise funds to support the causes that mean the most to them. And then we'll dive deeper into a couple of tools to show you what that looks like. So we'll start off by showing you tools on Facebook that help you collect donations as an organization. So on Facebook, there are 2 ways that your organization can raise funds on Facebook. The first one is collecting donations for your nonprofit, and the second is other people, so supporters, fundraising on your organization's behalf. For the first one, the collecting donations for your nonprofit, what this really means is using our tools, you as an organization can decide when and through which methods you will choose to collect donations on Facebook. With supporters, what that means is once you've registered to collect donations on Facebook, people, public figures, and brands that you work with can choose to support your organization when they feel like they want to through a variety of ways. Diving deeper into the specific tools on Facebook, we have 4 main tools that we provide people, organizations to use to collect donations on Facebook. The first is page fundraisers. Page fundraisers is a way for any page on Facebook, any verified page on Facebook, to create a fundraiser on the platform. With the fundraiser, you have a set fundraising goal that you're looking to achieve, as well as an end date that you want to raise the fundraising goal amount by. Typically, we see organizations creating fundraisers around a specific moment. We see this through cultural moments that are happening where Mother's Day, Father's Day, or holiday seasons are typically times that we might see organizations create a fundraiser on the platform. Supporter fundraisers are when other people create fundraisers for your organization. So these could be fans that follow your Facebook page. It can be friends and family that are choosing to activate a birthday fundraiser for you. It can also be public figures and brands that you partner with to create a fundraiser. Posts with donate buttons are the most lightweight way to activate support for an organization on Facebook. It's simply a post that you would create similar to any other post on Facebook, with the added opportunity to add a donate button that allows people to know that you're posting about a specific charity or organization that you want to support and raise money through a simple donate button. And last but not least, we have live video with Donate. This is probably the most exciting and interactive way to raise money on the platform, in the sense that you are using the power of sight, sound, and motion through Facebook Live to call to action about a specific cause that you care about as an individual, or a specific fundraising moment that you really want to drive focus to as an organization. So we see a lot of people and public figures and even nonprofit organizations using live videos around specific moments to really showcase, to bring people and supporters, make them feel like they're part of that event with you, as well as raising money for a special cause. Now we'll move on to tools for supporters to fundraise on your behalf. So the main tools for supporters to fundraise on your behalf are the same, really, but the way that it kind of works is, the way that creatively that it works on the platform can be a little bit different. I think with posts and fundraisers and live, these are three main tools that you have access to if you are onboarded to Facebook Payments and you're an organization that is actively using Facebook. What is interesting and compelling about supporters using these tools on your behalf is just seeing the way that the community can come together to draw awareness about a cause that they're passionate about. So for your example, you'll see in the second screenshot, the fundraiser screenshot, we have an example from NBA All-Star Stephen Curry, who is really familiar with our fundraising tools and has activated a fundraiser for his birthday for the past several years. In this case, he partnered with a nonprofit that he has a close relationship to and decided to dedicate his birthday towards creating a fundraiser and drawing awareness towards his affiliation with a specific cause. So these are really interesting ways that you as an organization, if you have a local supporter who is an influencer in your community, or a friend or family with an extended network on the platform, these are ways that you can encourage supporters within your community to fundraise on your behalf. And then Jen, I'll kick it over to you.
Great, thanks. So when someone chooses to donate via Facebook to an organization, they can actually go to GuideStar to find out more information about the organization. So the link that you see in the red box on your screen takes potential donors directly to your nonprofit profile. And I say potential donors because usually they haven't donated yet. They're going to read up and make sure that this is an organization that they want to support. So the Nonprofit Profiles Framework makes it really easy for those potential donors to learn more about an organization through a standardized, clear format. And people are, in fact, using them. You'll see on this slide here, there's a steady drumbeat of folks coming over to GuideStar from Facebook. And the spike that you see is from this past year's Giving Tuesday, where on a single day, more than 55,000 people used this feature to learn more about the organization that they were thinking of donating to. And the steady traffic is, of course, a clear signal that people are, in fact, taking time to do research before giving. So all registered nonprofits are automatically listed on GuideStar. We pull available information from the IRS, and then we allow you to claim your profile and add details. Fun fact, or maybe not fun fact, I actually started my career working at the IRS, and while I do have a strange affinity for tax forms as a result, we all know that they're not super engaging to read, and they definitely don't tell the whole story. So you would never just hand over your Form 990 and expect someone to understand what you do and how you do it. So that's why we encourage you to claim and update your profile. By claiming your organization's profile and completing the required fields, you can earn a seal of transparency. And you can see an example in the red box on the upper left of the screen. You earn a seal of transparency for providing context for the IRS information that's already in your organization's profile. Essentially, this is how you get to tell your organization's story. It gives potential donors insight into your work, and it helps you stand out from other nonprofits. The amount of information you provide determines which of the 4 seals you can earn. So bronze is what I call the entry-level seal, which you can earn by spending 15 minutes providing basic information. So this is like contact information, the geo area that your programs are serving, and your logo. So it's super easy. Platinum seals are our highest level of achievement. And those, of course, require sharing more detailed information about strategies, financials, and measures of progress. But it definitely pays off. There was recently research released from Villanova University and the University of Wisconsin that indicates that nonprofits with a seal averaged 53% more in contributions the following year. So that's all to say, GuideStar profile is completely free and lots of potential donors are looking at it. So it really pays off to spend a little time making it something that you want to use to showcase your work. Next slide, there we go. So I want to zoom out for a second, and if we've gotten you excited about nonprofit profiles and transparency, that's great. We have a lot more where that came from. Candid has a range of data tools on nonprofits, foundations, and grants that you can check out. Foundation Directory Online is our prospect research tool. We have grantspace.org, which is our home for nonprofit learning and training. We have Philanthropy News Digest's RFP listings, RFP for requests for proposals, and grantcraft.org, where you can learn what funders are thinking. And those are just a small sample of resources that might help you do your fundraising work smarter. I'll actually post links to all of these in the chat window shortly. And Candid is the result of Foundation Center and GuideStar joining forces just a few months ago. If you knew one or both of those organizations before, Candid builds on the strengths and services of those organizations and deepens our collective commitment to connect people who want to change the world with the resources they need to do it. And we, of course, are a nonprofit organization ourselves. So for more information about Candid, check us out basically wherever you are online. We are also there online. And as part of our launch in February, we revitalized all of our social media channels. And so I'm particularly eager to start using Instagram more strategically. And especially because we're a nonprofit ourselves, I'm really curious about what Helen's about to share with us now about fundraising with Instagram stickers, because hey, we could all benefit from it. So Helen, back over to you.
Thanks, Jen. So, right, so let's chat about Instagram fundraising. All right, let's see if my mouse is working. Looks like I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Let's see. Candid team, would you help with skipping over to the next slide, please? Thank you. All right. So for those that aren't familiar, let me do a quick walkthrough of just how Instagram, the platform, works before we dive into the donation sticker specifically. So for anybody that's unfamiliar, Instagram has 2 main areas where engagement happens on the platform, and it's really in feed and in stories. In the first image you'll see is just the home screen, and this is what anybody and everybody will see when they download the Instagram app and open it up for the very first time. In feed, on the second screen in the center, that is where you will see multimedia via photos and videos and carousels from accounts that you follow on the platform. This is the area where you will also see a mixture of content from businesses via ads, as well as just influencers and friends and family that you may follow on Instagram. Stories is the tray at the very top of the home screen. So if you take a look at those individual circles that are at the top, these are where the stories bubbles will appear. And so you can tap on, you can scroll through the tray at the very top to look at the different stories that are coming from the accounts that you follow, and then tap any individual profile image to view stories from a specific account that you wish. Next slide, please. All right, so a quick overview on Instagram Stories. Instagram Stories is a new way to visually communicate. It's quick, it's playful, it doesn't take itself too seriously, it zooms up full attention when you tap one of the stories, and it's really attention grabbing. I think what's really exciting about stories is that it's a really lightweight for any account on the platform to visually express themselves. When Instagram first came out, it was very focused on images, and I felt like there was this pressure at times to have really compelling and really beautiful manicured images on the platform. But what's really nice about stories is through all of the different creative tools that the platform offers, there's really nice ways for organizations and individuals to express themselves in playful ways that it doesn't need to be super hyperly edited. And then quick facts about Instagram Stories. Each story lasts for up to about 15 seconds. So whether that is an image or a video, it will play for 15 seconds before moving on to the next story. With stickers, so stickers is a new feature within Instagram Stories alone. We've had it around for a couple of years now, and I remember the days where stickers, we started out with a simple location sticker for people to show, hey, I'm in California right now buying In-N-Out, and this is where I am. But now, as you can see through this screen, there are a variety of stickers that people and organizations can use to express themselves and better storytell on the platform. Specifically, if you look at the screens right here, within the first image, we have a polling sticker, or excuse me, a Q&A sticker, where you can basically ask a question and people can type something and respond to you. We also have days of the week stickers. So if it's Monday and you want to post about your coffee that you're having at work, you can use a Monday sticker to express how you're feeling and your current mood of the day. If you are an active user of Instagram currently, you can pull up the stickers tray now to take a look at a variety, at least over 20 stickers that are available to you, to your organization and your personal Instagram account today. All right, and introducing the Instagram donation sticker. So this launched in the US to US creators and US nonprofit organizations at the end of April. And this is exactly what it looks like. And then we'll dive a little bit deeper into how it works, but you'll see right here, essentially how it would work is if you are posting a photo or a video onto your Instagram story, you can use the swipe up feature within Instagram Stories to add the donation sticker. In this example that you're seeing on the screen, this person would be fundraising for the Humane Society, and it tells you as the fundraiser how much money you have raised. And just a quick side note, the amount raised is only visible to you if you are the person that is adding the donation sticker to your story. It's not publicly visible to everybody else on Instagram. So a quick overview on the donation sticker. It's a donation sticker in Instagram Stories and launched by the Instagram team that allows people and organizations to raise money for nonprofits. Building onto the ethos of Instagram Stories, we have designed this and built this to be a really lightweight and fun way to show your organization, show people that are following your organization's account what you stand for, or you as an individual on your Instagram account what you stand for and what causes you support. To get started in 2 easy steps. So these are the eligibility requirements as a nonprofit organization. These are the steps that are required to take before your organization can begin fundraising on Instagram through the donation sticker. So the step 0 actually to do a special call out is your nonprofit organization must be onboarded to Facebook payments. So you can go to Facebook to sign up to enroll to collect donations on Facebook, and that would be the very first step that your organization would need to take before becoming eligible to fundraise on Instagram. Next, be sure to link your Facebook and your Instagram accounts. This is just another precautionary step that our company, we want to make sure that we are associating the right organization's Facebook and Instagram accounts and ensuring that the money that's being raised for your organization is going to the right place. And then the last is if your organization has an Instagram profile already, be sure to convert your Instagram account to an Instagram business profile. This step is really critical because what it allows your organization to do is to see better analytics and insights about your organization's following on Instagram. So if you are active, if your organization is active on Facebook and you take a look at your page insights to understand analytics behind your followers on Facebook, the Instagram business profile is the Instagram equivalent to that. So we do require this step for nonprofits that are looking to fundraise on Instagram because we want to be able to give you more support and more analytics behind the people that are actually following your account. So once you've taken those steps and you're eligible to use the Instagram donation sticker, these are the steps I'll walk through the steps now in terms of how to actually add the sticker to an Instagram story. So the first step is on Instagram, tap your profile image to start your story. Select a photo or a video that illustrates the purpose of your cause. So this could be a photo or video that you've already taken on your phone. You can also use the camera on the Instagram app to take a new photo or a new video to upload to your Instagram story. Once you select the media type that you want to post as your Instagram story, tap the smiley face sticker on the top right, and that's where you will find all the stickers. So once you've tapped the smiley face sticker or button on the top right, that will load up all of the different stickers that you can choose. As I mentioned before, you can choose a location sticker, a music sticker, a polling sticker, but we want to choose the donation sticker so that you can raise money on the platform. So tap the donation sticker and then select a nonprofit organization. So if you are fundraising from your organization's account on Instagram, you would want to look for your organization's account here. So once you've selected the nonprofit organization that you want to fundraise for, give your fundraiser a title. It could be as simple as Help Girls Learn to Code, in this example with the organization Black Girls Code, or you can type something a little bit longer, or you can keep it short. And then tap share next to your story, and then that will officially post the story, the donation sticker to your Instagram stories. Moving on to some fundraising best practices on the platform. All right, so before I get started, I'll just add a caveat that a lot of these best practices that we're about to share for Instagram, I really think could really be applied to Facebook as well. There are specific nuances to Instagram in terms of what specific tools you use to utilize the best practices, but I think the general theme resonates the same across both platforms. And the first one is really showing the impact, using posts that tell the full fundraising story. So for example, if your organization is fundraising for Mother's Day or Earth Day, why does that particular day resonate with your organization? We've seen organizations use videos or a series of photo posts to be able to elaborate why they're fundraising for around this specific moment. Specifically with Instagram stories, what's exciting about it is, yes, you can post a story that will last for 15 seconds with the donation sticker, but you also have access to the whole suite of creative tools to use, variety of tools on Instagram stories to be able to tell why you're fundraising around a specific moment. Maybe your organization is fundraising for Earth Day and you want to use the Q&A sticker to ask people why they care about Earth Day. And that's a unique and compelling way to engage your fan base on the platform, to get them excited, equally excited about a day that is meaningful to your organization, as an example. And then the second best practice is check in with your supporters. And I would say this best practice really resonates across both Facebook and Instagram. Oftentimes, people that are donating are looking at your stories. They're looking at it on a mobile phone, mobile device. People have very busy lives and they're probably scrolling through a million posts a minute. So it really helps to re-engage your supporters or people that may have viewed your fundraiser but for whatever reason haven't made that leap yet and donated. It helps to check in and post periodic updates about what's going on with the fundraiser, what's going on surrounding the event that you're fundraising for, what's new with your organization in showing impact in terms of where the dollars raised are going towards. That way you can really entice and excite your supporters to let them know, the dollars that they're contributing to your organization, what is the impact that is driving. And then the final best practice here on this screen is very specific to Instagram because with the @mentions. So we would recommend @mentioning your supporters to thank them when they donate. If you are a nonprofit that is adding the donation sticker to your Instagram stories, you will get a notification when someone when an individual user on Instagram chooses your organization to add to their donation sticker. So what that'll send to you is just an in-app notification, and you can respond to that notification by direct messaging your supporters to thank them for fundraising for you or thank them for donating to your organization. Another fun way we've seen some nonprofits thank their supporters on the platform is taking screenshots of some of the stickers that their fans have added where their organization is tagged, and then posting that screenshot to the nonprofit's Instagram stories. Keep in mind the Instagram donation sticker has only been around for less than a month, so these are just some of the early trends that we've seen, but we will definitely keep you all aware of what new best practices and trends and adoption trends we see as more time comes along. A couple more best practices here. One feature that I do want to mention is the highlight feature. So as you know, Instagram stories, they last for about 24 hours and they will expire after 24 hours. This is the same with an Instagram story that has the donation sticker added to it. What that means is you have about 24 hours to raise money through that sticker. 24 hours goes by really quick, and we are seeing that oftentimes not everyone will see your donation sticker within 24 hours, or you may not necessarily hit your desired goal within those 24 hours. But what you can do is use the highlight feature on Instagram to pin your donation story to your profile. And what that does is it allows people to access your donation story by going to your profile, looking at the highlights, and then they can donate even after the 24-hour mark. This second one over here in the center is matching. We do have a matching tool on our Facebook fundraising platform, not on Instagram just yet. We are still in the early days, but we do see this as a best practice to find a donor to match donations. You can use the matching tool directly when you're fundraising on Facebook, and if and when we introduce something similar on Instagram, we'll be sure to let you know. And then updating the goal. So this is more specific to Facebook, as with the Instagram donation sticker, you actually cannot set a hard fundraising goal. But with Facebook fundraising, what you can do, and what we've seen some organizations do, is periodically increase the fundraising goal once they've hit a specific milestone. So typically what we see on Facebook is organizations starting out with a small goal that is a little bit more realistic, and then allowing the fundraiser to gain some traction. And then once it's gained some traction, moving that goal up a little bit higher and a little bit higher, just to see how much farther you can reach. And then a couple more here. We would recommend building a content schedule around your fundraisers to build momentum. And I would further emphasize content schedule is even more important today, now that there are a plethora of digital platforms, including Facebook and Instagram, where your organization can be present and actively fundraising. It certainly helps to schedule and build a schedule around when you are going to post where and how you speak to each unique audience across the different platforms. Going live, this is very specific to Facebook. As I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, you can go live on Facebook and add a donate button to your Facebook Live video. And it really helps just to get people really engaged, particularly if you're fundraising around a live event. If your organization is hosting a run or a walk, it helps to go live to just help people that are viewing it feel like they're there with you. And then last but not least here, encourage supporters. I think it's important to keep in mind your followers on Facebook and Instagram follow you for a reason. They want to support your organization and fundraise for you too. So as much as we can educate you on how your organization can use these fundraising tools, it's also great to be able to educate your supporters of what moments are important to your organization and when your organization can really use their support for fundraising help.
Wow, Helen, those were fantastic tips. I was taking notes myself. I know we did a dry run, but I'm writing notes for how Candid should activate on this as well. And one question that a few folks were asking that I was also curious about, do you all collect fees on the donations, whether a nonprofit is directly fundraising or if a supporter is fundraising? Are donations to nonprofits, are there fees taken out of it, or are they covered in some way?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks, Jen. So we do not collect any fees for donations that are made to nonprofits. And that is by far the biggest benefit of signing up for Facebook payments and enrolling to collect donations on Facebook and Instagram, is that once you're set up, all donations that you raise on Facebook and on Instagram, 100% of that money goes directly to your organization.
I love that. Excellent to hear. One person in the audience asks, we struggle with accessing donor information on Facebook. How do we find this information?
So right now we provide donor information through the transaction reports if your organization is onboarded to our charitable giving tools. So essentially, if your organization has signed up to collect donations on Facebook, we waive fees. You also receive transaction reports from us where you will be able to see who has donated to your nonprofit within the last 2 weeks. And we have some limited information there, and we're always looking to be more transparent and share more in a privacy friendly way, knowing concerns that users may have on their platform about their information being shared. But we're always working our hardest to make sure that we're being transparent with our users that are donors on the platform in terms of what's being done with their information, and respecting that, as well as being transparent with our nonprofit partners.
Cool. That's really helpful. I will give you breathing time for a minute or two because a few questions came in on the Candid side as well. So I'll take a few of those and then come back to you in a minute. There was a quick question clarifying, is GuideStar now Candid or an umbrella company? So Candid is a new organization comprised of the former GuideStar and Foundation Center services and products. So we are Candid. We are not GuideStar or Foundation Center, but we still have a lot of our legacy products and services. And so what you'll see even on some of the branding for this webinar is we have like GuideStar by Candid. And so it'll be a couple year process of evolving a lot of our sub brands and platforms to be squarely under the Candid umbrella. But the new organization is Candid, and we are super excited about it. There was also a question of how do we claim our GuideStar profile? So the link for doing so is guidestar.org/update. And you just follow the steps to link yourself to your organization's profile. I will put that URL in the chat box in a minute, or maybe one of my colleagues could do it. And there was a related question of who can help with updating a profile on GuideStar. And I'm interpreting the question one of two ways, so I'll answer both. The first is like, who can actually update a profile? Well, anyone associated with an organization can. We have a verification process to confirm that the right people are able to access their profiles. And I can tell you, we recently did it when we became Candid. We wanted to lead by example, so we do have our platinum seal as an organization, and we had folks from 4 different teams at Candid working together to update the profiles. So you don't have to have a certain level of seniority or anything, but we do have a verification process again to confirm that the right people are updating. And the other way I could interpret this question is, how can I get help when I'm trying to update my profile, but I have a question? And for that, you can go to help.guidestar.org, or there's a little blue circle in the bottom right corner that will also take you to help when you are updating your profile. So those are a few answers on the Candid side. I'll come back with a couple more of those in a minute. But Helen, a question for you. People were asking, how much can people actually donate, both on Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, it's a great question. So people can donate between $5 to $2,500 per contribution. You can donate multiple times to a fundraiser, but the maximum for a single donation transaction is $2,500.
Okay, cool. And related a little bit just to like how donations work, can people give anonymously?
Right now, people cannot give anonymously at this time. The total amount raised and list of donation, including the donor's Instagram handle, name, and dollar amount, are shown within the story insights to the person raising the funds and to the nonprofit beneficiary.
Cool, that's really helpful. And so here's a question. I'm curious to hear your answer, and I can also link it to another question that we got after. Someone asked, what are the best ways to encourage our followers to host their own fundraiser pages, do their own posts or their own Facebook Lives for the organization? How do you encourage your supporters to do that?
Yeah, I feel like we hear this question really often, so I'm really glad it's asked because it's an important one, and I think it really emphasizes the power of fundraising on social. So we would say, create a fundraising moment that has a theme and a goal that your supporters can really rally around. Find a time of the year that's relevant to your organization and is really meaningful to your cause. So for example, it could be Earth Day, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. These general moments throughout the year have a strong cultural awareness across people, and I think where it will be valuable is educating your supporters of why these days, particular moments, are meaningful to your organization. We've also seen organizations create a fundraising moment around their anniversary, so the day that their organization was founded, and that's obviously an incredibly meaningful moment to any nonprofit organization. So in short, give people a day and a theme, and just ensure that they remember it. The second is educating. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, please continue. Continue.
And the second one I would just quickly touch on, and mention this earlier in the presentation, is just educating supporters about how to use these tools. I think especially working at a place like Facebook and Instagram, there are constantly new features being introduced all the time that even as an employee, I am still wrapping my head around and trying to understand myself. So I can only imagine what it's like to be an end user that is looking at our platform and maybe using Instagram stories every single day, but may have never realized that they could fundraise for your organization there. And I think the best practice of educating your supporters, it seems like there's a heavy lift, but there's really not. I think if you start by using the sticker yourself on your organization's Instagram stories, or start creating a page fundraiser on your Facebook page, that is inevitably a way to educate your supporters about what the tool is and how they could eventually use the same tools to fundraise for your organization.
Awesome. I really like those tips. And, one last one that I might add in as well. I get so much mail and so many emails from so many wonderful nonprofits that always want me to up my donation or reaffirm my support. And it's great, but sometimes I wish that they asked me to give in a different way. And so one thing development folks can consider is, how might you ask people in your network to give differently by hosting a Facebook fundraiser, for example, that benefits your organization, but it's not asking for more money directly out of their pocket. And I think that that's particularly valuable when you're looking at millennial donors or other donors giving at a small level, where having them re-up their donation isn't always possible. It's fine to ask sometimes, but this is a different type of ask that can keep them engaged. They feel proud to be associated with the organization when they host a fundraiser, and the money's not coming directly from their pocket, but rather they're helping to bring in new supporters to your organization. So mixing up your ask to those donors is another really valuable way to get them to host a fundraiser. And I want to link that question to another one that came in specifically about smaller organizations. The question was, what suggestions do you have for smaller organizations for fundraising on Giving Tuesday? And it's a really great question. For those who are tuned in who don't know what Giving Tuesday is, just on the off chance, it was started 6 or 7 years ago as the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. And it's a day that all nonprofits are really soliciting donations, and it has become both really successful for a lot of organizations and can in fact drown out a lot of smaller organizations. So just from like a good fundraising practice standpoint on my end, and Helen, if there's anything else you want to chime in, feel free. A few things. One is to get a core group of supporters ahead of time. Maybe it's the board members of that organization, or a couple of folks who have donated consistently over the years. Send those folks like a promo pack ahead of time, maybe like 2 weeks in advance, 1 week in advance, and then a day before, with all of the messaging that they need. And you can always make it a little bit competitive, or like depending on how close that group of people is. I know a lot of boards like to have a friendly game of who can bring in the most money through their networks. So that's kind of fun, but getting people prepped well in advance and committing to sending a certain number of messages, that's one really good strategy. The second thing is to set realistic goals. So if you're a really small organization and your budget is on the smaller side, you don't try to set a goal that you can't meet. Helen mentioned earlier, it's great to set a reasonable target, and if you meet that milestone, you can always increase it over the course of your campaign. And then, the last thing, and I swear I'm not trying to be self-promotional of the seals, but if you've been really transparent as an organization, use some of your PR, use your seal of transparency as a way to up your game about how you're presenting the work that you do. I personally tend to give when an organization has something to show and something to say, rather than trying to guess the work that they're doing. So instead of just asking for donations on Giving Tuesday, tell a compelling story, share the ways in which you're transparent, and talk about why that matters. And I think people will be more likely to give. Helen, I don't know if you want to add to that about smaller organizations and Giving Tuesday.
Yeah, those are all fantastic best practices. And I think the only one I would add or further emphasize that you already called out, Jen, is don't start on fundraising on Giving Tuesday if your goal is to fundraise on Giving Tuesday. I feel like that is akin to a retail company launching their Black Friday sale on Black Friday, right? So you can imagine if Giving Tuesday is the Super Bowl day of giving, we're seeing organizations use our tools, specifically fundraising on Facebook. And then now this year, I'm excited to see what happens with Instagram before Giving Tuesday. But the organizations that are the most successful are using our tools constantly throughout pivotal moments throughout the year. I think with specific to social, and you think about the nature of how Facebook and Instagram works, most of the consumption takes place on our news feeds, on whether it's Instagram feed or Facebook feed. So oftentimes posts get lost by the wayside all the time if you're following a lot of different accounts on the platforms. So I would say if I could really emphasize any best practice, it's really being comfortable and using the tools on a regular basis on the platforms right now and year long, especially when moments that aren't of the magnitude on Giving Tuesday. That way your organization can understand what works for you, what best practices drive the most success impact for your organization, and how can you continue to build on that and then be prepared to fundraise for a big moment like on Giving Tuesday.
Awesome. That's really helpful. Someone chatted in, I'm not seeing the donation sticker. What do I do?
Yeah, so just as a friendly reminder with the requirements of how to have access to the sticker, the first is make sure you're signed up for Facebook's charitable giving tools. You have to be onboarded to Facebook's charitable giving tools before you can raise any money on Facebook or Instagram. The second step is making sure that your Facebook and your Instagram accounts are linked, and we do have instructions that we can send out afterwards. And then the third is making sure that your Instagram account is a Instagram business profile. All of the instructions and links to this information can be found on our Social Good website at socialgood.fb.com. And we can send these links out in our follow-up materials.
Awesome. There were a few more questions on the Candid side in a similar vein of like, how do we do this thing? So one was, how do you build a Candid profile if you're not required to file a Form 990? So maybe a faith-based organization. That is a question we get all the time. It's the top question on help.guidestar.org. So go there and follow the steps. It's pretty well spelled out, and will help you get your organization listed. Someone else asked, how often can an organization update their GuideStar profile? I love that question. The answer is as often as you want. We certainly encourage quarterly reviews, and more like with spring cleaning, at least once a year. I think it's great to kind of have it be a recurring calendar appointment for someone, whether it's on the development team or the program team, just to check in and make sure it's all accurate. So as often as you want, but try to shoot for quarterly or at least like a nice little spring cleaning. Let's see, what else should we hit? Someone asked, where should the GuideStar seal be placed? So you go through the process, you earn a GuideStar seal. People who click through on Facebook, for example, they'll see it on the site, but let's say you want to put the seal somewhere on your platforms. Where should you put it? So my answer is anywhere and everywhere. It's a great accomplishment that you should absolutely share with the world. It can be digital, like on your social media, on the footer of a website, certainly on your website's donation pages. And you can even reference it in direct mail communications. And I would also share it through email and e-newsletters, just because it is an accomplishment that has come to have a good amount of clout in the field. So yeah, definitely loud and proud is my answer there. We also got a question, Helen, for you. Can nonprofit supporters also use donation stickers for your nonprofit?
Yes, we can send follow-up materials about this, because I want to be very specific in the sense that we do have specific countries that where we allow people on Facebook and Instagram to activate a donation sticker on Instagram, or activate a fundraiser or a donate button post on Facebook. Rest assured, it's completely available in the US and in the UK, but outside of those two countries, there are specific lists of particular countries of when people on the platform can use those fundraising tools. So we can share that afterwards.
Excellent. And we got a few questions about cost, both on the Facebook and Instagram side and the Candid side. So I just want to underscore what Helen already shared and what I didn't share, but will say now. Everything is free here. So having a nonprofit profile, totally free, definitely pays off. Doing a fundraiser on Facebook and Instagram, that is free. And as Helen said, they're not taking money off the top for any sort of transaction fees. So this is all like free, which should resonate well with nonprofits as far as ROI on development work goes. So just want to underscore that. Let's see, one more question that we got. How long does it take the IRS to feed to GuideStar after a 501c3 status is approved? So some basic information is available within months, but the main information isn't available until the organization files their first 990. But a new organization can create and update their profile directly with GuideStar. So again, that's guidestar.org/update to start the process. And something that I really like about this, just as a little sidebar, I think philanthropy often supports long-standing organizations a little bit easier, because there's always the question of proven results, and people always are looking up to see where else you are on the internet and what else people are saying about you. And so being able to create a GuideStar profile pretty quickly after becoming a new organization is actually a way to get in the fundraising game with less red tape. So I'm glad someone asked that, and I would definitely encourage doing it. So with that, I'm gonna actually make that. Oh, you know what? There's one last question that came in, and then so we'll end with this one, and then we'll each kind of say a last thought. Helen, I'm not sure if you know the answer to this. Does our nonprofit Instagram page need to be verified on Instagram? So do you need a blue check mark to do this?
So you do not. Your nonprofit's Instagram account does not need to be verified on Instagram with the blue check mark on Instagram. However, and this is where it might be a little bit confusing, you do need to be verified on Facebook. The main prerequisite towards using the Instagram donation sticker on Instagram stories is that you need to be signed up for Facebook charitable giving tools. So you need to sign up to be eligible to collect donations on Facebook and Instagram in order to use the donation sticker on Instagram. And one of the steps towards being onboarded to Facebook's charitable giving tools is being verified on Facebook. So short answer, no, you don't need to be verified on Instagram, but you do need to be verified on Facebook.
Awesome. That is really helpful. So with that, since we're almost out of time, I wanted to ask Helen if you have any last thought that you want to share with our audience.
Yeah, I think the last thought on my end is I think oftentimes when we're introducing these donation tools, there's a lot of questions and a lot of excitement around using these tools on Facebook and on Instagram to raise a lot of money for your organization. But I wanted just to kind of keep it zoom out a little bit and just remind everybody that really success of driving success, fundraising success, whether it's on Instagram or on Facebook, is not only going to be coming from using the tools alone. We really encourage the organizations to lean in and use the suite of creative tools on Instagram stories as well as on Facebook, and using them regularly to be able to learn what really works for your organization. Some nonprofits, as an example, can afford to post really highly edited beautiful videos on Facebook every single week, but your organization may not have those resources. But all of this to say, figure out what works for you and let the tools be a catalyst towards the movement you're already building on the platform.
Excellent last thoughts. The last thing I'll add in that sort of occurred to me as we were talking is I'm guessing that we have a range of ages and a range of tech preferences in our audience. It is a large audience after all. And I think sometimes things that are social media based are written off as, a simple thing for the younger generation to figure out and, just let them run with it and go for it. It may not be at an executive level conversation. And it's sort of like siloed to like the younger folks who are tech savvy, who like know how to do this stuff. And I want to say great, but these are real serious tools. These have really big potential and they should have really good strategy behind it. So I want to encourage anyone who's in a senior leadership role who's listening to think of these tools as stuff that you should take really seriously and strategically. I think it's really important to bring tech natives and people who are on and excited by these platforms to the decision-making table. But I also don't think it's healthy to just kind of turn it over to your youngest staff member and say to run with it, because these could be really big vehicles and you want to be really intentional about how you're approaching fundraising on them. You want it to have a really clearly defined strategy and one that your senior leadership and board are really brought into and also helping to drive. So just wanted to comment on like the cool opportunity for intergenerational work here and building some of that tech know-how and making sure that we collectively recognize how big and valuable these tools could be if we take them seriously. So that's kind of my last comment. I want to thank everyone for attending. Best of luck to everyone digging into these great Facebook and Instagram strategies. And let us know when you update your GuideStar nonprofit profile. We'll definitely, if you tag us in posts, we'll definitely like and maybe amplify the posts. I want to give a huge thanks to Helen. This was her first giant webinar and it was a pleasure presenting with her. I learned a lot, so thank you, Helen. And I also want to give a special thanks to our behind the scenes Candid team, the Ariel, Gabe, and Erica, and to our behind the scenes Facebook colleagues of Jen, Noelle, and Dion. You're all fabulous. We love working with you. And if you enjoyed this webinar, sign up on grantspace.org to find out more free learning opportunities like this one. So thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day.